Good afternoon on what is a bright, sunny, if cool afternoon. It is Sunday, October the 11th, and I'm back in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And of course, some packages and so on to unbox. Today, the last thing I am going to show you is this, the Rod of 7 Parts. Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Tomes Adventure. Stirrings of an ageless war between lore and chaos are drawing you into an epic adventure. This is by Skip Williams and was published in 1996. Okay, so Stirrings of an ageless war between lore and chaos are drawing you into an epic adventure. A struggle more savage than good versus evil. Imagine a time before the words good and evil had meaning. A day when the world was young. Discover an ancient conflict that predates the stars. It was in these days that lore and chaos forged worlds out of nothingness. Their war began with the cosmos was yet unfinished. The Rod of 7 Parts defines epic role-playing. The reappearance of the Rod has awakened the powers of chaos, and their queen seeks to turn the whole world into a battleground. Bold heroes must undertake the enormous task of seeking out and assembling the pieces of the Rod, but even its power cannot stand alone. Ages ago, primal forces of lore stood against chaos. Now their champions must once again confront the Queen of Chaos and her foul spider fiends, lest the flame of civilization be extinguished. Follow the quest for the capricious Rod as it leads characters on a journey of high fantasy. The Rod of 7 Parts is designed for 4 to 6 heroes and heroines of levels 10 to 12. The box includes Initiation to the Power, a 96-page book, a grand adventure playable in any AD&D world, including original campaigns. The War Against Chaos, 64-page book of world-crossing adventures putting PCs toe-to-toe against the minions of chaos. Might and Menace, a 32-page detailing the mysterious powers of the Rod of 7 Parts, how it affects both its enemies and its friends. Monsters, a 16-page of new villains, new monsters, and even a new race. 6 two-sided reference cards, 6 full-colour poster maps portraying the key locations you can visit. And read about this ancient artifact in the epic novel The Rod of 7 Parts by best-selling author Douglas Niles. So that's a lot of information on the back of this box. So open it up, and what we have got in here, well, there's actually quite a lot of things, all in quite nice condition. So for example, first things first, I've got some of the maps, and these are quite large. So you almost want to cut these up and sort of make them a bit more accessible on the table, but you wouldn't, or at least I wouldn't. And then that opens up to one big pot of maps like that. I'm not entirely sure those maps are quite useful if you've really got a big table. And then you've got further maps like that. So those. So I'm not going to unfold all of these maps, but again, you've got that's 1, 2, 3 fold-up maps. Then you've got individual applications like that, and illustrations, and there's information on the back. So you've got the rod powers on the back there. Resonant powers, so lots of things. So you've got illustration there, nice illustration in the back. Okay, so these are sort of like handouts and stuff. Okay, just keep going. I forgot Temple with an internal map there. Oh, sorry. That. And the Sister of Chaos. Yes, there we go. Looking quite familiar, sort of like that tower, that sort of thing. Looks very much like it's appeared in the books. So we have Initiation to Power, and that's the first book. It is covered in plastic because that's how the owners kept it in nice condition. So it's by no means mint, but is in nice condition, and the contents themselves are decently presented and protected. Yeah, this looks like very much like a late AD&D second edition book, similar to something like Slavers, which came out in 1999, 3 years later, which would have been the last campaign that TSR probably published. But this, yes, the quest begins here. So, and there's quite a lot, really big, quite a lot of information here, and this probably would have been sort of like you're talking 10th to 10th to 12th level characters. This would have been sort of like toward the ends of their career. I mean, they could have gone higher, but it's this would have been massive. Yeah, so I mean, really quite nice artwork, and it's all very cleanly presented. It's you're not getting a huge amount of box text. You've got some there because obviously it's a D&D adventure. You're going to need some descriptions of things that are going on. And this is a little odd. That looks like a stain, but it's not. It's actually part of the book. It does feel like it shouldn't be there. Okay. And actually, the artwork in is really good. That's really kind of creepy, sort of like scary picture there. I really like that. So, yeah, probably could have done with sort of a guide to sort of like what's in this box sort of thing. And we go on to the War Against Chaos. And this takes it to basically different locations. Again, actually really quite nice artwork. Mostly that's mainly okay. So there's a lot going on in here, and there's a lot to keep a campaign going as well. Oh, that's a nice sort of like encounter with the Medusa. That's nice and creepy. Don't want to be caught like that. Well, don't want to be caught like that in the bath or really anywhere with a Medusa. Encounter, I think, probably with must be a giant or a demon or something. Again, I keep saying, nice artwork in here for the most part. So yeah, you've got quite a lot of gaming content in here. And then we go on to an interesting thing here. We've got here a product tree to help you guide you into your first Dungeons and Dragons products. I mean, I kind of think this is a bit superfluous. At the back of a book designed to be played by characters of 10th, 11th, and 12th levels. By this point, I kind of think you probably know what you need to buy, and you've probably bought it. Okay. This is book 3, the Rod of 7 Parts, and this is actually a guide to the artifact itself. So they're all going quite all out on this, and you've got a 32-page booklet dedicated to the rod itself and its history, researching properties, powers of the individual segments, assembling the rod, disassembling the rod. No euphemisms here, please. All the way through. New magical items. That's in addition to the rod, and then we've got side treks through chaos gates and the like, and what the Queen's going to do against you, chaos reigns, stuff like that, which you can add to the campaign as well. So that's that. Then book 4 is monsters. And this hasn't been plasticized, but that's fine. So you've got things like the Beast of Chaos, Hound of Law. So no illustration of the Beast of Chaos, but the Hound of Law, which looks like any old dog. Miska the Wolf Spider, who she doesn't look very nice. The Queen of Chaos herself. Spider fiends. So yeah, this will take a lot of preparation, I think, to prepare and run, but I think it would deliver an interesting campaign. So we've got at the bottom here, we have the Dragonlance Conceptus featuring the new Saga rules. This would have been a bit of advertising put in the bottom of the book, and this folds out, so you've got essentially a bit of fiction there, then a sort of like a complete sort of like timeline of all the books and events and so on in the Dragonlance saga as it was then in 96, because Dragonlance essentially was extremely popular for Dungeons and Dragons at the time. Then it does exactly the same for the Forgotten Realms. So we've got a complete Forgotten Realms product tree on the back, and then basically introduction to the Forgotten Realms, which I should probably read because I've never actually played in the Forgotten Realms for all these years. And then around the realms, a nice bit of advertising, and this keeps opening up. You just do more and more information. So what's on the inside? Oh, there's a complete poster of the sort of like the setting for the Forgotten Realms, and that's familiar to me because I at one point I had to collate all of the maps for the Forgotten Realms and its world, and work out where they were on one master map. That was an interesting afternoon for a project. That would have been in 1999, 2000, and then we've got a bit of advertising for Dragon magazine, Dragon and Dungeon magazine. Of the two, generally Dungeon magazine was much more fun, much more interesting because it had adventures in it. And I would actually love to actually get hold of all the copies of Dungeon and start reviewing those, because there's actually lots of content, interesting adventures. So that is the Rod of Seven Parts. As I say, they did come with. There was a book of fiction, also called the Rod of Seven Parts, which came out as a little hardback, and I do remember that being given away by TSR UK in the late 90s. They probably had a lot of them in the warehouse. So yeah, Rod of Seven Parts. Interesting campaign. I would be interested to see whether Wizards of the Coast actually revisit this and represent it as a high-level campaign, or perhaps basically do what they do normally, which is basically plot out a campaign from about third all the way up to 10th, 11th, 12th level. So a mammoth campaign, one of the ones they bring out sort of like a couple of times a year. That would be interesting. So yeah, possibly. But in the meantime, Rod of Seven Parts, kind of a forgotten campaign or release when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. There aren't that many titles that are really remembered from the 90s at all for the game. Most people remember the classic content from the late 70s and through the 80s. So yeah, eventually I will actually give that a read and a proper review. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I do hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have, please do click the like button down below. And of course, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me with a package, and then a box, and a game or product which I can open up and show you and talk about for the to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, then please do click that like button, click that subscription button, and you can join me here for a nice hot cup of tea. Again, thanks for watching. I'll be back again here in the Nook in the near future. Bye for now.